You made 6 figures last year, but your bank account says $247. And here's the problem. You're spending money in all the wrong places and it's quietly killing your photography business. My name is Travis Reynolds. I am a CPA and I help photography studio owners run more profitable studios. So look, I work with 6-figure photography studio owners every day and I see the same pattern over and over again. You're not struggling because you're not talented enough. You're not struggling because you can't book clients. You're struggling because nobody ever sat you down and explained how to spend money like a real business owner instead of just a hobbyist with a credit card. And here's the thing, guys. This isn't about being cheap or cutting corners. This is about being strategic with your money. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where every dollar should actually go to grow your business instead of just making you feel like a real photographer. All right, so let me tell you what I see happening all the time. A photographer has a really good year. Maybe they made something like $120,000 in revenue. Maybe they're feeling pretty successful about it too. So what do? They go out and upgrade to the latest camera body. They probably just spend $4 grand and then they go ahead and lease a beautiful studio space for $2,500 a month. They start buying premium packaging for every single client delivery. And then they sign up for 3 new software subscriptions because you know what? They saw another photographer using them as well. Does that sound like you? And then tax time rolls around and they're sitting in my office going, wait, where's all that profit? And here's what happened. They spent money on things that made them feel professional instead of things that actually made them more profitable. And that's gonna be a huge difference. The real difference between a 6-figure photography hobby and a 6-figure photography business is knowing which expenses actually move the needle and which ones are really just expensive ego boosters. So let me break down for you both sides for you. Where should you be investing and where you can actually save without looking cheap? And let's start with where you actually should be putting your money. These are gonna be investments that either protect what you already built or multiply your income. The first one is gonna be quality glass over camera bodies. And I'm gonna say something that might sting a little bit. Your clients honestly can't tell the difference between a photo shoot on a $6,000 camera versus a $3,000 camera. But they can absolutely tell the difference between a cheap lens and a professional one. Here's a good rule to follow. Lenses can last a decade or more, but camera bodies are basically obsolete after 3 years. When you actually run the depreciation math on this, investing in quality glass gives you way more better image quality and way better return on investment over time. So it's better to buy the lenses and skip the body upgrades. The next thing is backup equipment. And I mean actual backups, not just saying you'll figure it out if something breaks. If your camera dies during a wedding, you can't exactly tell the bride, hey, sorry about that, I'll catch you to the next one. You're gonna need a second body, spare batteries, a solid backup system for all of your files. And this isn't optional, guys, this is a straight up liability protection. One lost wedding because of your gear failed could cost you $5 grand in refunds, plus a potential lawsuit. Spending $1,500 on a backup body, that's actually cheap insurance when you think about it. And while we're talking about insurance, you better get it. You got liability insurance, all of it, because it's a write-off anyway, and it protects everything you've built. And then the third thing that you should be spending money on is marketing that actually converts. And this is where most photographers really mess up. They might spend $200 entering photo contests that literally nobody sees, but they won't spend $500 on Facebook ads that actually book them 3 weddings. And you need to be tracking every return on investment on every single marketing dollar that you spend. If Instagram ads are booking you clients at $50 per lead, that's gonna be awesome. Keep spending it there. If that magazine feature costs $2 grand and gets you exactly 0 inquiries, you better cut that out immediately. And then here's the big one. Your website is not optional. I don't care how good your Instagram is. Serious clients with real budgets want to see a professional looking website with your portfolio. It should also have your pricing information, testimonials, and all that good stuff. A $300 a year Squarespace site is gonna book you way more clients than a $3,000 camera body ever will. And then the fourth is education and skill development. This is honestly the investment that separates the hobbyists from the actual business owners. Take a marketing course, learn how to read your profit and loss statement, maybe hire a business coach, or join a mastermind group. I'm in a mastermind group myself and it is so valuable. You know why? Because the actual difference between making $80,000 and making $150,000, it isn't your photography skills, it's your business skills. You gotta learn how to price properly, position yourself in the market, and manage cash flow. I had a client last year who spent $2 grand on a business course. And she ended up raising her prices by 40% because she finally understood what her true costs actually were. That course paid for itself in literally 1 wedding. And the fifth thing is client management systems. Not fancy gifts, invest in tools like Honeybook or Sprout Studio that make you look super organized and professional. You can have automatic contracts, invoicing, scheduling, all that stuff that can save you hours and prevent really costly mistakes. Now let me tell you what you don't need to be spending your money on. You don't need to be spending money on expensive gifts. I've had one photographer client tell me that they are spending over $100 on custom gift boxes, albums, fancy swag, and all of that stuff. You know what clients actually care about? Is getting their photos delivered on time and having them look incredible. A handwritten note costs you $1, and going the extra mile on communication costs you nothing. You want to focus on the experience itself, not just throwing expensive stuff at people. Now let's talk about where you can and honestly should be saving money without looking cheap. First, stop upgrading your camera every single year. Unless your current gear is literally preventing you from delivering quality images, you don't need the latest release. I promise you that $4 grand could go towards marketing that books you 10 more sessions, which is like $15,000 in actual revenue. Here's a quick test that you can use. Will this upgrade let me charge more or book more clients? If the answer is no, then it's a want, not a need. And wants don't build businesses. And when you do need to buy something, buy used gear or last generation models. A 2-year-old Pro Body performs like a 95% as well as the brand new one, but costs 50% less. That's just smart money making right there. Second, skip the fancy studio space, at least for now. I see photographers all the time signing these 5-year leases for beautiful studio spaces when they're barely breaking even. So please don't do this, guys. Here's the math. A 2,000 month studio costs $24,000. Then you have to add in things like utilities, insurance, building costs, and you're easily at $30,000 or more. Unless you're shooting in studio multiple times every single week or you really need that space for constant client meetings, just work from home, guys. Rent a studio by the day when you actually need it. Join a co-working space if you can. Meet clients at coffee shops. That $30,000 you save is $30,000 you can invest in marketing, education, or just paying yourself an actual salary. And then the third, cut out all the low return on investment expenses. Go through your bank statement right now and see what you're paying for software and like the subscriptions you don't use. Let's try to get all that stuff out of there. Cut everything out unless they're directly leading to bookings. Every dollar that you save on these vanity expenses is a dollar you can actually invest in something that grows your business. And then fourth, rent specialized gear instead of buying it. If you only need a super telephoto lens twice a year, just rent it. You can factor the rental cost right into your client's invoice. You get the gear you need for that specific job without having all this cash tied up in your equipment you barely use. The same thing goes for lighting setups, specialty cameras, and gear you can't justify using on a regular basis. Renting is just smarter cash flow. So here's the bottom line. Running a profitable photography business isn't about spending less money, it's about spending smart. Invest in the stuff that protects your income and multiply it. Quality glass, backup gear, insurance, marketing that actually converts, education, and systems that save you time and money. Save on the stuff that doesn't move the needle, like constant gear upgrades, expensive studio spaces, fancy client gifts, and all those little subscriptions that are just draining your account every single month. And when you make these shifts, something really cool can happen. Your profit margins start improving. Your cash flow stabilizes. You stop feeling like you're just on this hamster wheel going nowhere. And you can start building real wealth. So I hope you found that video helpful. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, drop a comment below, and I'd be happy to answer it. And I'll see you in the next video.